So I just watched a Korean action revenge thriller Ballerina, and I can kinda see the John Wick comparison, but it stands on its own as well. What do I mean? Well, the Ballerina follows a woman who used to work as a bodyguard, but the moment her best friend takes her own life, she uses her skills once again in order to get revenge against those that pushed her that far. Although the main marketing is on the action, it's not as action-packed throughout as a John Wick film would be, or even as the film Ballerina that's gonna be in the John Wick universe that is going to come out seems like it would be. It instead focuses heavy on the emotions that drive that violence. The action choreography also has more quick cuts at first than I would like. It was nauseating at a couple moments, which did drag it down a little bit for me, especially since there is a scene that doesn't have those cuts that prove the actors are capable of that action and don't even need the freaking cuts whatsoever. It is reminiscent of that Mile 22 movie and how it didn't do its actors justice either. It is not a big deal, since again, there are good scenes that make up for it, but it felt kinda strange to start the film off with a quick cut action in terms of first impressions. Our main heroine, Okju, I think I said that wrong, but hopefully I said it right, she was honestly really likable. Not every situation involving her made logical sense, but it's due to the writing and not the actor herself. She struggles with finding happiness in her life. She has had moments where she hoped her job would be the end of it, the end of her, and that only changed whenever she met who would become her best and seemingly only friend. It doesn't shy away from showing the uncomfortable parts of the feelings of hopelessness, of the feeling of sadness, and of the consequences of acting on those feelings with a permanent solution to a temporary problem. That doesn't make the film too dark and dreary to the point that it's miserable though. Instead, there are some rather comedic moments, even if that comedy wasn't always the intention. The middle act focuses on these emotions, on flashbacks to the past, stuff like that. It harms the pacing quite a bit, and it feels like it's trying far too hard, to the point that it could be pretty slow compared to the beginning and even the end. It's not a deal breaker of course, but it is distracting, and I feel like they should have struck a better balance between action and drama. The build-up of the enemies feels a bit lackluster as well. The main antagonist is easily hateable, but the ones that he answers to felt really unnecessary by the end and ended up just padding down the runtime given how inconsequential they ended up being. I feel like the film would have benefited by us seeing the main antagonist do worse and worse things as he's being hunted by our hero. We didn't need all the other characters to be built up as important when at the end of the day they never truly were. Due to dialogue being limited, most emotions are portrayed through body language besides when flashbacks occur, which is so often that it feels like an over-reliance on them. Whether you like this or not is solely personal preference, but it feels more style over substance in an artsy fartsy kinda way. I am a big fan of Korean movies, especially Korean action movies, and I've seen them done so much better than this one. It is still a good movie. It's something that I could actually tell you to go out and watch and not feel bad about it. It's not something that's gonna be a huge waste of time, and there is definitely an audience for a movie like this, but if you're here for action, you're gonna feel a little bit let down, and if you're just here for the drama and the emotions, then the action's gonna feel a bit unnecessary. The balance just isn't really struck for me, and I really think better pacing and better choreographed action would have helped with that. The quick cuts being so quick really did affect the pacing, where a well choreographed long shot kind of fight scene where you actually see what's going on and it feels more realistic probably would have helped, because it would have had that same slow, methodical, realistic vibe that the drama has, and that is the backbone of the entire movie. I don't know, I can kinda recommend it if you watch Netflix and you want an action movie or a foreign movie to watch. I mean, it's not a bad film at all. I'd probably still give it a 6 or a 7, even with my complaints, but you gotta know coming in that it's not gonna be a very action-heavy movie that you can just turn off your brain and watch, and if that's what you're looking for, you're gonna be disappointed. Just go in with some lowered expectations, especially if you like movies like I Saw the Devil or Oldboy or Train to Busan, because it doesn't even freaking remotely live up to those expectations, and given how many people were praising this movie as some kind of Korean masterpiece, I was was really expecting it to be better, and that's my fault for listening to what other people said before I decided to watch a movie. Really shouldn't have done that, but you know, my expectations were high, and then I went in and I watched it, and now I'm disappointed. So it is what it is. Just wanted to rant about it for a few minutes since I took the time out of my day to watch it, and a lot of people are recommending it, and I'm not feeling as strongly about it as everyone else might be. So yeah, that's all I gotta say. Just wanted to rant a little bit. For more news, reviews, and whatever we choose, just stay tuned to Nerdsfeed. Have a great day. Thank you.